You're listening to the Monetizing Black Businesses Podcast, where Black-owned businesses receive sales and marketing advice for increasing efficiency, effectiveness, sustainability, and revenue. Welcome. This is Vernita Sherman here at consultimg.com, and I want to welcome you to another episode 3 of the Monetizing Black Businesses Podcast. This episode is all about the 3 keys to sustaining a business that continues to produce profit. Now, notice that I said profit and not sales. There's a big difference here. You've got to shift your focus from sales to profit. So that's key number 1, shifting your focus from sales to profit. So why do I say that? Well, think about it. Sales mean nothing if all the income goes towards business expenses. And if you have nothing left over to pay your mortgage, your car note, your personal bills, and other things that you want to use after you've paid all of your business expenses. So what a lot of Black business owners are doing is they spend so much money on advertising, marketing tools, and other sales tools, and some hyped up marketing strategies that they think everyone else is using. And because everyone else supposedly is using it, that they should use it in their business because everyone is in their ear. People that are calling themselves expert on this and expert on that, social media expert, Facebook ads expert, Google AdWords expert, SEO expert, this and that expert, all in their ear, talking about how if you use this or that strategy or do it this way or do it that way, you'll increase your sales. You'll have way more sales. You'll have way more revenue. You'll have way more income. But who is talking about the profit? Who? See, that's the issue that we have in our community. We're so focused on sale. What about the profit? What money is left over after you pay for your subscription that you have every month to use your business operation tools, your marketing tools, promotional material, insurance, office equipment and supplies, utilities, contractors, and the team you have working for you, and whatever other recurring business expenses you have? See, too many of us Black people are so stuck on selling that we do not take the time out to plan how we're going to make a profit from those sales. Instead, many melanated people get caught up in all the hype, all the flashy stuff. So you have all of these people who call themselves experts all in your face talking about how you can make all this money doing A, B, and C and focusing on other material things that you want and just keep telling you that all you have to do is this and you'll be able to get that. All you have to do is spend money on social media, Facebook ads, and you'll be able to get all of these sales. All these people are going to come to you. Your message will get out there. You'll get out there. And then someone else says, oh, I can use my Instagram strategy to double the amount of clients that you have right now. By this time next month, you don't even have to worry about this bill or that bill. You'll have the money for this. You'll have the money for that because Instagram's where it's at. I'm telling you. Then another expert says, no, YouTube is where it's at. Everybody's looking at videos now. I'm telling you, there's this way that I use YouTube by this time next month. And then someone else is like, YouTube, no, that's old. Let me tell you what's hot now. There's this app on iPhone and Android. And this particular app, you do this and you do that, and you can make all kind of sales. I'm telling you. And the next expert is like, look, forget all this social media stuff. You need to start doing some live events. You need to hold a webinar, or you need to do a live in-person seminar at this particular hotel and make sure that you have this, and this. And that is how you increase sales. That is how you get more clients. That's how you become a 7-figure income earner. Forget 6 figures. You want 7 figures? You want 8 figures? You do it like this. You know, that's the kind of stuff that people keep coming at you with. No, do it this way. No, do it that way. No, this is where it's at. It's like this. It's like that. I can do this for you. I can do that for you. They're coming at you with all these tactics and strategies. And next thing you know, you're jumping around trying all these things, paying all these people, time, energy, and money being spent up, and you have nothing to show for it. Because no one has met with you to plan things out and really break down the numbers so you get a reality check on how much money you have left over. No, see, many of the marketing and sales experts and business experts don't want to do that because they're too busy selling you on how much you can make because they know that's what hooks you in. They tell you what you want to hear, and you may indeed make exactly what they said you'd make or even more. But How much of that do you have to take home after all of your business expenses are paid? Keep this in mind. Let's say you make 20 sales a day, and I'm going to keep the number small to make my point real quick. Let's say you make 20 sales a day versus someone else that makes 7 sales a day. And let's just say that what the two of you are selling, you and this other business, you're selling something similar and the price is exactly the same. You make 20 sales, they only make 7. Price exactly the same. But that other business makes more profit. So the other business owner is able to purchase things personally that you can't even fathom because you don't have enough money left over for yourself and your family after all your business expenses are paid. So see, that's just a real quick example of how the number of sales you accumulate in your business each day or month is irrelevant when it comes to your take-home money. All right? Shift your focus from sales to profit. Think about what you can do to make your business more profitable. Are you paying for online tools that you hardly ever use? How many profitable sales are really coming from your Facebook ads or your Google AdWords ads? How much profit are you making from that? How much profit are you making from your live events? How many profitable sales are you making from your webinars? How many profitable sales are you getting from things that you invest a significant amount of money on? Pay attention to that. How many of your clients or customers came from source A? How many came from source B? How many came from source C? And so forth. If you don't know that, then you are marketing blindly and money is going down the drain. You've got to know where to spend your advertising dollars and where to spend money when it comes to various different business expenses that you're going to need. You've got to know what is working and what's not working. Don't guess. You've got to know. And the only way to know is to track. You've got to track everything that you do online as well as offline. Track. All right? Know where your sales are coming from. I talk to business owners all the time. They have no idea what referral source, as it's called in the analytics world, what referral source is bringing them the most sales because they're not tracking. They may even have tracking software on their website, but they're not looking at it, or they don't have anyone on their team or any employee or partner or whoever to look at it for them and explain where the numbers are coming from. So then they just continue to do what they're doing, spending all this money, don't know what's working. And then let me just put it this way. 9 times out of 10, you can cut your marketing budget and your advertising budget as well in half, if not more, when you start tracking what's working and what's not. Okay? You got to know where your customers are coming from. You got to know where your clients are coming from. You've got to know where your sales are coming from so you can stop spending money on things that are not working and make more profit. Where are those people that purchase from you? Where are they coming from? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, your webinars, your offline things that you do offline, such as live events, YouTube, Google, the search engines. I mean, where? Know that and make adjustments accordingly. And it's not as simple as using Google Analytics either. And there's so many reasons why I say that, and I will get into that in another podcast episode. But let me suggest to you 2 foundational tools that you want to use to track where your sales are coming from, where your buyers are coming from, tracking your advertisements. Now, I say foundational tools because there are other tools that you can use that will help as well. So these are just some basic ones, and they work very well when you know how to use them. Use Clicky for website analytics and use Improvely for conversion statistics, knowing where your buyers are coming from. All right. So that's a quick tip right there. And then as far as your business expenses are concerned, what can you cut? What can you cut? Look at that. So many business owners. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that are paying for things that they forgot that they even had an account for. So they're not paying attention to their money. These are usually the business owners that actually have money. They're not struggling financially, personally. So they don't really track everything. They don't really look at, okay, I have money going here, I have money going there, and I have money going this place and that place, and I'm not using these tools, and none of the people on my team are using these tools. They don't think about that. Oh, it's only, $19.99 a month for that, or $100 a month for that, or this may only be $2.99, or what. The thing about it is that it all counts. It all counts because it all adds up. And so then when you add up all these things and they see how much money it adds up to, money that's been going down the drain, it's like they wake up all of a sudden and they say, well, why didn't anyone tell me this? Well, why didn't you take time out to plan before you jumped into doing this and jumped into doing that? Why didn't you plan out how you're going to keep track of things, including your expenses? And that leads me to the second key to sustaining a business that continues to produce profit. So the first key is shifting your focus from sales numbers or sales to profit numbers, your profit. Second, get organized. Get your house in order. Use tools that will allow you to be more efficient in the production of certain things in your business. Create systems for every operational area in your business. And again, this all goes back to planning, okay? So you want to plan everything, and you don't just want to plan, but you want to be strategic about it and create a strategic plan for how you operate your business. Part of being strategic with your planning, especially when it comes to getting organized with things that you do online and tools that you use online, is making sure that you house certain things online on your own site instead of anywhere and everywhere. Stuff's just scattered all over the place. So a lot of business owners, the internal operations is all scattered all over the place, not structured. There's no systems. But even externally, they have things just all over the place. An example of that is when you have sales pages, lead capture pages, product pages, service pages on so many different platforms and using the default URL to share on social media. So what do I mean by that? So first and foremost, I am a big proponent of you putting everything on your site, your own lead capture pages, your own sales pages, and your product pages and all of that on your own site. However, if you feel like it's easier for you or people within your company to go ahead and use lead pages as an example, which is a very good software to create lead capture pages, sales pages, webinar registration pages, and so forth, that's fine. Although I would recommend you use Thrive Architect on your WordPress site, which is an excellent plugin. But if you want to use lead pages, great, fine, use lead pages. But I would suggest to you that you do not share the default lead pages URL on social media, because if you ever leave lead pages, later on down the road, you decide you want to use something else, and someone scrolls through your timeline on social media or wherever else you've promoted that link or a link shortener that leads to that link, then they're going to be sent to a dead page that doesn't exist, and you just lost the opportunity to get a new lead or a new sale or a new registration. Okay? So instead of sending people to the default link that's created from all these various different properties, such as lead pages, promote a link that contains your domain name. You can easily create a link that contains your domain name that forwards to that lead page. Okay? So instead of such and such leadpages.com or whatever it is, whatever the link is, it would be yourdomain.com/such and such that forwards to that lead page. Or you can purchase a domain name specifically for whatever you want to use it for a product page or events or webinar registrations, and have that always go to a particular lead pages page. And if you set up another page for the same purposes, or you decide you no longer want to use lead pages anymore, you want to use something else, you can always forward that domain to someplace else. You have control over that link. Very, very important. Now, you may be thinking, well, I have control anyway. I'm using a URL shortener like Bitly and some of those other URL shorteners that are out there. Well, the free version of Bitly, which you most likely are using, does not allow you to change where that Bitly link points to. Another thing to keep in mind is with Bitly, as well as many other URL shorteners, they count bot clicks. All right. So what do I mean by that? So the search engines are always crawling various different pages and links online. Those are bots. And you may think, here's a perfect example. Let's say that Bitly is showing that you have 500 clicks. And so you think 500 people clicked on the link when really 300 of those clicks were bots and only 200 were real people. So that completely throws off your whole analytics tracking when it comes to you thinking that you had all these folks click on this link when it was only 40% of the number that you thought. Okay? That's something that you have to keep in mind. Another thing with these URL shorteners is that many times they do not pass on the source of where the link was clicked in your analytics software, whether you're using Google Analytics, Clicky, or some of the other software systems that are out there. It's not passed on. So let's say you have a Bitly link on Facebook that actually leads to your website, right? And so people have clicked it, real people have clicked it. And then when you look in your analytics software, it's not showing that those visitors came from Facebook. It's showing that they are direct links, which means that they came directly to that page somehow. And you're not going to know how. It's not going to specify. It'll just be counted as an unknown direct visit. And so you don't know the difference between those links and real direct links. So you are not seeing an accurate account of where your visitors are coming from by using URL shorteners that don't pass on the referral source. And many of them do not do that unless you have a shortener where you actually type in what's called UTM parameters. So this means that as you're creating this short link, there's other information that you add along with the URL it points to. So you're adding information such as where this particular link is going to be, such as Facebook as an example, so that that parameter is passed on in your analytics software. It actually says when someone clicks that link, they came from Facebook. So when you look at your analytics and you look at where people came from, you know that a certain amount of people came from Facebook, and where on Facebook, that particular link. And yes, it takes longer to create these type of URLs if you're going to shorten the link compared to just placing the URL that it points to in there, clicking whatever button you click, and then boom, you have your shortened URL. It takes longer, but again, you have got to make sure you know where people are coming from. So when you use these URL shorteners, I wanted you to really understand that it may mess up your analytics. You've got to know this. And all of this is part of getting your business organized. All right. You've got to know these things. You got to organize your business. And that's why it's so important that you organize your business in a way where your business has control over its assets instead of some other company having control. And so in this particular case, how does your business have more control? You simply create URLs using domains that you have control over. And you can do that with short link services because you can use a branded short link. You can do it with Bitly, but again, their free version, I already told you the issues with that. If you use an upgraded version, you're able to go ahead and add UTM parameters. But I also would suggest that you check out a URL shortening service called Rebrandly. With Rebrandly, you can use a branded domain that you have control over. They don't count bot clicks in the reporting, so you can rest assured that the amount of clicks are way more accurate than something that you would get from a Bitly or any of those other services. And with the upgraded version, you're able to add UTM parameters. And so there's other options out there too, so many various different things you can do when it comes to shortening a link. But the point is whether you're going to shorten a link or use your own website's domain and just add words after that /, whatever it is you do, whenever you promote something of yours online, whether it's on your site or it leads to lead pages as an example, whenever you promote an offer online, regardless of what it is, you want to make sure you have control over that URL. And none of these using the default from lead pages or whatever other service that you're using. Some webinar service you're using, you're just using that default link. Or you may have products that you're selling on eJunkie or ClickBank, some digital products, or physical products you're selling on Etsy. You're using that regular, whatever it is that they sent you, that they gave you, and you're promoting that. No, mask all of that. Use your own domain that you have control over. And it's very simple to do these things. Same thing with Eventbrite. You have an event, you're selling via Eventbrite. Well, first off, why? When you can do that on your own site and have people come to your own site instead of going to Eventbrite. But if you're going to use Eventbrite, okay, no problem. Make sure that you have a URL that contains your domain name and it forwards to that Eventbrite page. This is very important. Get yourself organized and make sure that you have a list of what's forwarding to what. That's another thing. You may be doing everything that I just said. Everything is perfect, right? But you don't have a list of what's forwarding to what. So you don't know what link is going where. You don't have a clue. Everything just all over the place. That's one thing you need to be mindful of when you either outsource or you have someone on your team do it or an employee or whoever. You need to make sure that there is a procedure for this. They need to create a list of all of the links and what goes to what. So you can just look right at it and you know. The point I'm trying to make here is you want to make sure that you organize and structure things in your business in a way where everything is always leading back to your business, even if you're using services on other platforms from other companies. All right? So moving on to the last key to sustaining a business that continues to produce profit, and this one is actually the most important. This third key is patience. Like I said before, don't jump so quickly into everything. Slow down, be patient, allow yourself to plan, create a strategic plan on how you will organize and operate your business so that it is sustainable. And of course, in order for your business to be sustainable, you need to make sure that you're taken care of personally when it comes to the amount of money that you're able to take home and live off of from the revenue produced through your business. That means that your plan needs to include numbers. You need to know your numbers before you start doing all these various different marketing strategies and hiring this person and that person and doing all this stuff that is draining your business from making money that's going to allow you to bring some of it home. And so in order to create a plan that has numbers where you're able to really see how much money you can take home by the time you reach this milestone, by the time you reach that milestone, and on into the future, you've got to be patient and allow for that plan to be created. Then once that plan is implemented, there's a process in order for all of the various different components of that plan to flow. You've got to be patient and allow for the process to naturally unfold. So don't expect to create a plan and implement it, and then all of a sudden you're going to be making all of these sales that produces profit all in a matter of a month or two. That doesn't make any sense. Stop forcing the manifestation of profit. You've already planted the seed, so let it grow naturally. Just nurture it. All you got to do, give it a little water, give it a little sunlight, nurture that seed, but don't dig up the dirt and wonder why you don't see nothing sprouting out from the dirt yet. It's coming. Allow it to do what it naturally does. You've got an excellent plan. You got people that implemented your plan for you. They created systems and processes. You know your numbers. Sit back and relax and allow everything to unfold, and you will manifest profit that will be way beyond what you initially thought you would be able to do because you were patient and you allowed it to happen. The issue with many Black-owned businesses is everyone wants to spend all the money made from a sale immediately. And so what many people do is as soon as sales have been made, they take that money and start buying up cars, clothes, TVs, and whatever new gadget just came out, whatever. Everybody wants to buy up all this new stuff because they have sales coming in. Plenty of sales, many sales. Then the next month they realize they don't have enough money to pay this expense. They don't have enough money to pay that expense, an expense that they completely overlooked. And the business eventually closes down. And it may not be because expenses weren't ever paid. It may be that it was simply a break-even amount. And so the owner didn't have any money to live off of, had to go get a job, or had to maintain a job while working the business part-time. Never was able to leave the job because that owner was living off of the money they were making from their job, and the money that was coming in through the business was just break-even money, Once you subtract this expense, that expense, there was no profit. All because there wasn't a plan, or there was a plan and the owner was impatient and tried to rush the process. Didn't allow things to just naturally unfold. When you create a strategic plan, you already know what's coming. You already know what's coming. You don't have to guess. You see it. You see the numbers right there. So just sit back and relax and allow the process to do what it does. And you will reach that milestone of that point where you're going to start making that profit. We as a people, as melanated people, we really have to shift our mindset and get out of that habit of thinking that we always have to spend every bit of money that's made from every sale immediately for our personal stuff, and really look at the bigger picture. Or our businesses will never be sustainable and last for years and thrive. You may go 1 year, 2 year, 3, you may go 5 years. Everything is all good. And then you're in a debt hole because you've built up so much debt with the business. Because in the beginning, you saw all this money in the account. And instead of thinking about, okay, this amount of money needs to go towards this expense, that amount of money needs to go towards that expense. I got to make sure this person gets paid. I got to make sure that person gets paid. I got to do this. I got to do that. As far as business is concerned, you don't think about none of that. You just see all that money in the account all at one time and you rush off to go buy your new car or whatever. Please slow down and be patient. All right. So to recap, the 3 keys to sustaining a business that continues to produce profit is 1, shifting your focus from sales to profit. 2, organize your business. And 3, be patient. Now, if you have any comments that you would like to share about this episode, feel free to leave a reply on this episode page at consultimg.com/episode 3. Again, this is Vernita Sherman, and I want to thank you for listening. I love you, and stay tuned for the next episode of the Monetizing Black Businesses Podcast next week here at consultimg.com. Peace and love.